Uncle Henry Show. Thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show here on News Radio 710 WNTM, 99.5 FM, The Jag. A beautiful morning in Lower Alabama, the Gulf Coast of the United States of America. What a wonderful place to live, especially if you love humidity and pole vaulting, things like that. Coming up in about 15 minutes, a new edition of Dear Ariel. Yesterday, we mentioned the story about the Alabama Beverage Control Board saying that restaurants could not serve pitchers of margaritas, that was somehow against regulation, that we couldn't handle it. Alabamians just couldn't handle it. We could handle a pitcher of beer, but if it was a margarita, then that was just some type of public danger. That we were threatened by it or something like that. So that story was picked up nationally, reported all over the country. And then yesterday, the ABC board, their spokesman says that they are now backing off of that and they are not going to enforce that. And now Alabamians are free to go out to Mexican restaurants or any other kind of restaurant and order a pitcher of margaritas. They're now loosening enforcement of that regulation. So if you determine that you and a group of people celebrating whatever you want to celebrate want to order a pitcher of margaritas, you can do that now legally in the state of Alabama. The funniest thing about this story to me is the spokesperson for the ABC board says that the national publicity had nothing to do with their decision. All that publicity, all the nationwide publicity, it had nothing to do. It's just a coincidence that they decided to back off of enforcing it. It was a mere coincidence, nothing to do with the publicity. You, the radio listener, you're not able to watch right now while we are streaming video on the News Radio 710 WNTM Facebook page. And Ariel picked a picture to show of somebody with a giant margarita that looks like it's the size of a pitcher. I've seen people order those where instead of ordering one regular sized, I wonder what the ABC board regulations were for those, because there are local restaurants that serve, you can order a margarita and it looks like 2 liters of margarita in there. I wonder if those were legal as long as it was just one person with one straw. But if you added additional straws or added glasses around it, then it would have... Well, that's all moot, because now the ABC board, coincidentally, in a strange coincidence after national publicity, has backed off of the pitcher regulations. We're going to talk about... I'm going to answer some email. And we'll also have Dear Ariel. That's all coming up as we move forward on the Uncle Henry Show.
Time Saver Traffic from the Main Street Flooring and Design Traffic Center.
Well, there are I-10 accidents, and then there are I-10 accidents. We have a major one now that is blocking all of the travel lanes of eastbound I-10 between Range Line and I-65. The right shoulder is passing, but that's it. You've got a delay that's 3 miles in length and barely moving. Do yourself a favor. Get off at Highway 90. Use that as your alternate route into Mobile. Again, this is eastbound I-10 between Range Line and I-65. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Ray Romero.
Gulf Coast weather from Local 15 and the Kemco Metal Buildings Weather Center.
Hello and happy Friday. I'm meteorologist Jake Dunn with Local 15. We've got, you guessed it, more showers and storms in the forecast today. We'll call it a 50% chance of getting wet, mainly along the coast during the first half of the day. Then those storms will venture inland as we move into the afternoon. All of that said, expect mostly cloudy skies and a high of 90. I'm meteorologist Jake Dunn for this iHeart radio station.
This report is brought to you by LifeLock. It's morning. Here's an eye-opener. LifeLock can see more threats to your identity than you can see if you're just monitoring your credit. And if something happens, a U.S.-based specialist can work to fix it. Go to LifeLock.com. Use promo code RISK to save 10%.
Traffic updates every 10 minutes on the 9s every morning. This is the Uncle Henry Show on News Radio 710 WNTM.
Uncle Henry Show, thank you for listening. We're going to have Dear Ariel coming up in about 10 minutes. I want to answer some email. Before I do that, though, I want to have a quick instant replay of the traffic. This traffic accident sounds like a terrible mess on I-10, eastbound I-10. Let's have an instant replay of the traffic report so I can hear exactly where this is.
Well, there are I-10 accidents, and then there are I-10 accidents. We have a major one now that is blocking all of the travel lanes of eastbound I-10 between Range Line and I-65. The right shoulder is passing, but that's it. You've got a delay that's 3 miles in length and barely moving. Do yourself a favor. Get off at Highway 90. Use that as your alternate route into Mobile. Again, this is eastbound I-10 between Range Line and I-65.
Wow. Okay. Awful. Okay. Well, we'll keep you up to date because we do have traffic and weather every 10 minutes on the 9s, so we'll have the latest for you as we move forward here on the Uncle Henry Show. Let me go to the email inbox. I have had some emails that have dribbled in over the course of the morning, and I haven't had time to address the email questions. Subject line on the email is bacon, roll tide roll. Email reads, "Good morning, Uncle Henry. Are you going to the bacon tasting at the Old Shell Market this morning at 10:30? Have a great weekend, my brother. Roll Tide Roll." And that email from Bama Big Man. Bama Big Man, thank you for your Roll Tides. Always appreciated to get Roll Tides, even when they are in just an email. Let me return your Roll Tide.
And Roll Tide Roll.
Now, I'm not able to go to the bacon tasting at the Old Shell Market, but I want to reveal to you, Bama Big Man, that yesterday a dream came true for me. A dream came true when I was invited by Johnny Gwynn of JohnnyGwynn.com to attend a private bacon tasting where I was asked to grade bacon. I've always hoped, wished, dreamed, fantasized that somebody would want me to determine the quality of various bacons in a bacon tasting exercise. And Johnny Gwynn of JohnnyGwynn.com invited me to this, and it was truly, and there was no disappointment. The details will be revealed in the future. I believe there will be a video released of the bacon tasting. But I'll tell you that I had bacon that was remarkable. I would be remarking on it right now. But I want to wait until the video comes out. But it was truly, the bacon was astonishingly good bacon. More than one bacon involved. So Bama Big Man, I hope you go, Bama Big Man, because if I tasted the same bacon that they're going to have available today, then you want to go, Bama. You want to go and taste it. It is worth your while. All right, again, thank you for the Roll Tides.
And Roll Tide Roll.
And we will continue here. All right, if you're stuck in the 3-mile-long traffic jam, we're just a couple of minutes away from our next traffic update, traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on the 9s. After we get our traffic and weather, we'll be back with a new edition of Dear Ariel on the Uncle Henry Show.
Take care of your skin. See Dr. Thomas Bender at Advanced Dermatology and Skincare Center. Dr. Bender sees patients in Mobile, Daphne, and Bay Minette. Find out more online at advanceddermclinic.com.
Bluebell ice cream is a spoonful of smiles, a bowl full of celebration, and 2 scoops of down-home optimism. It's a birthday party's grand finale, a first date's icebreaker, and a second trimester's persistent craving. Bluebell is a soft landing from a hard day, a team celebrating a win or erasing a loss. Some say Bluebell is the best ice cream in the country. Like our original gold-rimmed homemade vanilla, the country's gold standard of ice cream flavors since 1969. Its hand-cranked taste takes you back to simpler times. That's why we put the word home right on the carton.
Try Bluebell's most popular flavor, homemade vanilla. A rich, homemade-tasting vanilla ice cream with a special hand-cranked flavor that takes you back to the good old days. Pick up some today.
If you know the value of good machines, then it's high time we got together. We're Bailey Industrial, builders of metal and woodworking equipment. Hard-working machines for hard-working people. We stand behind our equipment and make sure our equipment stands behind you, offering you the after-sale support you need to keep your shop running smoothly, which means making sure you have what you need when you need it, typically shipping within 72 hours or less. So whether you're a fabricator or manufacturer of metal or wood products, go to Bailey.com or call 920-MACHINE and we'll send you a catalog. That's right, friend, over 400 pages of what you love most, machines. So whatever you're looking to build or manufacture, do it with Bailey Industrial, the company you can trust to give you the equipment and service you can rely on. That's B-A-I-L-E-I-G-H, Bailey, because if it's worth doing right, it's only right to do it with Bailey. So call 920-MACHINE or go to Bailey.com now and pick up your free catalog.
I'm Uncle Henry, a customer of Heads Heating and Air Conditioning. I've used them for maintenance and for when my old system went out on me. Last year, I asked them to turn to the experts, Carrier, and replace my old natural gas furnace with a Carrier 95% high-efficiency unit. And so I had a cozy, warm home last winter with lower heating bills, and I'm looking forward to a cool home this summer with that new system. Carrier, high-efficiency natural gas, and Heads Heating and Air Conditioning make a great team. Did you know they've got financing available at 0% interest for up to 60 months? You can't beat 0% on a new system. What a great combo. Carrier, natural gas, Heads Heating and Air Conditioning, and financing at 0% interest for up to 60 months. So turn to the experts, Carrier, and call Heads Heating and Air Conditioning. The number is 251-653-7873. 251-653-7873. See if you qualify for that great deal on 0% interest.
It's heating and air conditioning, where 3 heads are better than 1.
It's here. iHeartRadio lets you play any song right now. Need to hear your favorite new song? Do it. Need to hear the song that reminds you of that thing? You know, the thing from the summer of 2010?
How do you know about that thing?
Just play it. iHeartRadio gives you the best live radio and your music in one place. So upgrade now and play exactly what you want to hear. iHeartRadio free, iHeartRadio Plus, and iHeartRadio All Access powered by Napster. Go to iHeartRadio.com now to upgrade.
710 Time Saver Traffic from the Dean McCrary Audi Traffic Center.
Well, there are I-10 accidents, and then there are I-10 accidents. We have a major one now that is blocking all of the travel lanes of eastbound I-10 between Rangeline and I-65. The right shoulder is passing, but that's it. You've got a delay that's 3 miles in length and barely moving. Do yourself a favor. Get off at Highway 90. Use that as your alternate route into Mobile. Again, this is eastbound I-10 between Rangeline and I-65. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Ray Romero.
This report is brought to you by Planet Fitness.
Join Planet Fitness now for just $10 a month. You're in a judgment-free zone where you can go at your own pace whenever you want. It's only $10 a month, and you receive unlimited fitness training with your membership. The world judges. We don't. Planet Fitness. Be free.
Now, Gulf Coast weather from Local 15.
Good morning and TGIF. I'm meteorologist Jake Dunn. We've got mostly cloudy skies in the forecast today with a 50% chance of storms and a high of 90. Should be a quiet Friday night. We fall down to 74 and then expect highs in the upper 80s to near 90 this weekend with more showers and storms, especially on Sunday. I'm meteorologist Jake Dunn for this iHeart radio station.
News? Check. Traffic and weather? Check. Opinions? Check. This is the Uncle Henry Show, only on News Radio 710 WNTM.
Uncle Henry Show. Thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show. News from Fox and from Local 15's Darwin coming up in about 10 minutes. Right now we have a new edition of Dear Ariel. This is where we take letters that were sent to Dear Abby. And instead we take those letters and put them to Ariel so that we can compare and contrast the differences between Ariel's answers and Abby's answers. Ariel, are you ready for some letters?
Yes, I am.
Dear Ariel, as my children have grown older, I have regarded myself as matriarch of the family, giving advice and help where I think it's needed. Lately, though, I'm afraid my relationship with them may have taken a turn for the worse. I can't seem to stop criticizing. Recently, they sat down with me and told me they dread coming to visit, are sick of my mother-in-law treatment of their spouses, and collectively wish I'd check my tongue. I meant well, but my kids are right. The problem is, Ariel, I'm afraid I can't stop. Trying to hold my opinions back leaves me anxious and depressed.
Girl.
My family is pretty normal, and I don't want to alienate anyone, but I'm having difficulty dialing back these habits, and I don't know where to turn. And that is from Critical Matriarch in Utah.
You can help yourself. And if you feel like you just can't, get a diary. Write it in a diary and then burn it. Don't let anybody ever find it. Because if you already know that you are the problem, the best way to solve the problem is to stop being it. Get a diary. I'm sure Abby is going to tell you to go to counseling, but I say it's cheaper to buy a diary.
The lady that wrote the letter is very self-aware, though, isn't she?
Yes,
I mean,
at least she can admit that, she screwed up.
This is what Abby says. Abby says, when the urge to criticize becomes overwhelming, bite your tongue or leave the room. The only exception would be if you see an impending disaster. I'll share with you some advice my mother, the original Abby, gave me years ago. The most unwelcome advice in the world is that which is unasked for.
Hello.
Take it to heart, and your relationship with your adult children and their spouses may improve. Abby really didn't help her out at all.
Not at all, because Abby just told her bite her tongue. That's what she's doing, sis. She's already done that.
All right, let's get to another letter. This is about sisters, and Ariel has 4.
Yeah.
Dear Ariel.
Okay.
Our daughters aren't speaking. One says she really doesn't like the other. These are mature women who have had their differences throughout their lives, but they have tolerated each other, one more than the other. The older one claims her sister posted not so nice things about her. The younger one threatens not to attend any gatherings if her sister is there. This needs to be resolved before years go by and our family is torn apart. They stopped speaking a month ago on their dad's birthday yet. It was one of the worst days of our lives. We are in our 80s, and I may never again see them together. The older one says she's willing to go to counseling, but the younger refuses. We're desperate for a reconciliation, Ariel. They don't have to be best friends. Just be civil and tolerate a holiday together for our sake. Please advise. And that's from Helpless and Sad in Dallas.
You know what my parents would do in this situation?
What would your parents do?
Everybody that's beefing, you got to come in this room and sit on this couch, and he's going to go into a 20 to 1 hour long sermon about why you should get along with each other. And if you so much as try not to get along with each other, he's just going to start yelling. And nobody needs that. And all of a sudden, it's like everybody just wants to get along. So I just think in your situation, you call my dad. That's my advice. Call my daddy.
Your dad, who is not just a chemical engineer, but a preacher.
Right.
So when this has happened in your house, you've described it, everybody gets together and they get preached at.
Yes, you get Bible guilt, and if Bible guilt doesn't work, he just starts yelling at you. That will get you every time.
All right, Abby's answer is different.
Clearly.
Abby says, unless both of your daughters are willing to accept counseling or mediation, they will not reconcile. For your younger daughter to resort to emotional blackmail is despicable. Please do not give in to it. Tell her that if she decides to change her mind, she's always welcome, and then proceed without her. You may be desperate for a reconciliation, but until your daughters are, it won't happen, and you will have to accept it.
In my house, we're not allowed not to get along. That's not a thing. Maybe she should have made that a thing a long time ago. You're not allowed not to get along.
Okay. That's our latest edition of Dear Ariel here on the Uncle Henry Show. Now, before you go, Ariel, come back, Ariel, because Ariel's going to be on Facebook Live video. If you're like me and you don't want to go out tonight, you'd rather sit at home and see other people living their lives, Ariel's going to be on Facebook Live at, is it 7?
7 o'clock p.m., yes.
All right, what are you going to be doing?
Okay, so I have a brand new podcast with my best friend. It will be on the iHeartRadio app shortly. It's called Sister Code, and we just kind of get together and talk about everything, just anything that we've ever had a conversation with when we are just actually around each other.
Okay.
And so that's kind of how this is going to happen tonight. Her and I are hosting, and we brought in 4 other ladies to kind of sit in and just talk. 4.
So there are going to be 6 women.
There are going to be 6 women sitting in one room, and according to some of our engineers, this is going to be a man-bashing fest, but no, it's not.
Now, she mentions our engineers because they're setting it up in this room.
Correct.
This is where we do all of our Facebook Live videos. So people can find this at 7 o'clock tonight.
On the Beat of Mobile's Facebook page.
Beat of Mobile's Facebook page tonight. So Ariel with all of these friends.
Yes.
I'm going to have to watch.
It's going to get interesting. I don't know what's going to happen.
Okay. Thank you, Ariel, and good luck with that broadcast tonight.
Well, a new study is out about another man-made crisis. This time the threat is mass extinction. Yeah, a handful of scientists say that humans have damaged the Earth's ecosystem so horribly that we are headed for the biggest mass extinction since the dinosaurs were wiped out 66 million years ago. These scientists claim 2 species vanish every year, over 200 in the last century. Of the 177 species of mammals, 40% have experienced a serious drop in population. Now, co-author of the study is the disgraced Stanford professor Paul Ehrlich. He says the asteroid that hit Earth, wiping out the dinosaurs, was not making a choice. But the coming mass extinction is the result of human choice, overpopulation, overconsumption by the rich. Ehrlich complains that wildlife habitats have been plowed under and paved, replaced by buildings and strip malls. Of course, Amazon's going to fix that. Of course, this crisis comes with a deadline. The study gives us only 2 or 3 decades to straighten the problem out, or else we're done. Mass extinction will be so far gone, we won't be able to recover. Let me turn back the hands of time, 1968. That's when a young scientist named Paul Ehrlich wrote The Population Bomb. He predicted the population would double, and the Earth would not have the resources to sustain it, so we wiped out 20 years ago by starvation. Except there's more of us here than ever. Population's doubled. Ehrlich is full of it. You've heard the old saying, you get what you pay for. Well, it's certainly true for tractors, folks. Some companies think you'll buy a tractor.
Hello there, Facebook. We're here in the break. I am going to, I'm coming up here in just about 30 seconds. We're going to have our next traffic update. And I'm going to be paying attention. This sounds like a terrible situation. Anytime you have all the lanes blocked in one direction on the interstate and it's a 3-mile. Well, the last time he said it was, our traffic guy told us about it. He said it was a 3-mile backup. So by now, who knows? It may be 4 miles, 5 miles. Terrible traffic backup on I-10 eastbound. So stand by. We're going to listen to the traffic update together.
7. That's 251-679-8677.
710 Time Saver Traffic from the Main Street Flooring and Design Traffic Center.
A fairly horrible accident is still fouling up life on eastbound I-10 through much of the Mobile Drive. The problem is an accident between Range Line and the I-65 interchange. This is an accident spot, and it's still blocking all of the main travel lanes. You're getting by on the right shoulder, but that's it. I do have a tow truck on the scene, but you've got an injury, multiple vehicles involved. There's a 3-mile-long backup. Exit at Highway 90. Use that as your alternate route into Mobile. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Ray Romero.
And it seems like that that particular stretch of road has its fair share of accidents, just based on listening to traffic reports throughout the years. That one stretch, and I don't travel often in that area, so I'm not exactly sure what is it about that stretch that accidents occur. But a big mess on the roadways. All right, we're going to be back on the radio here in a few minutes. I'm going to check our news service and see if there are any interesting stories that I've missed today. There was one I missed, the story yesterday about, and I know you've already heard it by now, the man that was accidentally locked inside of an ATM or something and had to pass notes. People that went to get money out of the ATM, the guy was passing notes asking for help. And a lot of people thought it was a joke. Let's see if I can find, all right, let's see. Here, there's a story here about big bugs in Arizona. All right, well, I want to hear about it. Bugs are of interest.
The huge insects show up this time every year with the arrival of the summer monsoon season. Some say they look like flying cockroaches and they can grow to be around 5 inches long. Experts say the critters can't harm you and they're only here looking for love. The bugs are only here to crawl out of the ground, find a mate, then crawl back into the ground and lay some eggs. The Palo Verde beetles can fly, so folks riding motorcycles need to look out. I'm Jason Campadonia, NBC News Radio, Phoenix.
Okay, Phoenix, Arizona, with the word critter. Critters. But the report, he probably enjoyed writing that because he got to use critters. Let me see. Here's another one about teleportation. I heard Glenn Beck talking about this yesterday or the day before.
They claim to have successfully teleported a subatomic.
They are being Chinese scientists.
They claim to have successfully teleported a subatomic particle from the Earth to an orbiting satellite. The Guardian reports it's a record distance for transferring the complete properties of a particle from one place to another instantaneously. But experts believe we're still a long way from being able to teleport people. As one astrophysicist put it, transporting anything as large as a human being is a different problem entirely. Mark Mayfield, NBC News Radio.
Well, we don't need to teleport human beings like on Star Trek. What I would like is when you order something like pizza or fried chicken, then it can be teleported to your house. That's what, then none of us we wouldn't have to have any storage space. We could just buy things using our smartphones whenever we wanted to use them, and they could teleport it right to the house, and then you'd use it. We wouldn't have to have a pantry. How do you fact check that story? A Chinese scientist claims they've teleported a particle, a subatomic particle. How do we know? How can you double check that? You kind of have to take their word for it, because most of us can't go in and say, let me see this subatomic particle. Well, let's see what else. There's not as many fun stories. Unfortunately, a lot of the news is you prefer it be no news because it's not as good. Oh, in Utah, they're cracking down on distracted drivers in Utah. And the reason, and distracted driving, people texting, not paying attention to the road, using their smartphone. And the way they're going to do it is they're going to send out undercover. They're not going to be in an actual patrol vehicle. State of Utah is going to send out officers in a black van. So a black van is following you around. You might use your smartphone to text, please help me, I'm being followed by a black van. To me, that would distract me. And also, in addition to the black vans, they're also going to use they're going to be in a school bus trying to catch people using their smartphones while they're driving. I guess the point is to make people in that state so paranoid they wouldn't dare use their smartphone while they're driving. All right, stand by. We're going back to radio. Uncle Henry Show. Thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show here on News Radio 710 WNTM 99.5 FM The Jag. Yeah, terrible traffic situation eastbound I-10 between Rangeline and I-65. We'll have another traffic update for you in just a few minutes. We do it every 10 minutes on the 9s. You may have already seen these headlines about the legalized dope smoking in the West. There's just a headline. I haven't even read the story. The headline itself is all I need. And it's the kind of headline I never thought I would ever read ever in my life. And the headline is Nevada approves emergency regulation aimed at solving marijuana shortage. Nevada approves emergency regulation aimed at solving marijuana shortage. So you have a state. We have some parts of the country are so pro legalized dope smoking that if you don't have enough of it, it's an emergency. In our state, the only time there's an emergency, it's usually natural disasters when the state approves emergency regulations. In Nevada, I guess not having enough dope is an emergency. This is just stuff I never thought I would ever read. And no, don't need to read the rest of the story. I think the headline tells me all I need to know. Earlier this morning, we had Joe Gomez on reporting from the National Governors Association summer meeting. Governors from around the country are in Rhode Island meeting. About 32. I don't know if Kate Ivory of Alabama is there or not, but 32 of the governors are in Rhode Island at this big meeting. I wonder how many of those governors are whispering to each other about the tax revenue generated in Colorado, Washington State, California, now Nevada with their emergency in Nevada because they don't have enough of it. I wonder if they're talking about that because states would love to have more money. All right, traffic and weather together and then more show.
Time saver traffic from the Dean McCrary Kia Traffic Center.
Horrendous accident is still fouling up life for eastbound I-10 drivers. The accident spot is between Rangeline and the I-65 interchange. Multiple vehicles, multiple injuries, and they are still blocking all of the main travel lanes on the interstate. You're kind of limping through on the right shoulder, but that's the only way traffic is getting through here. Delay is between 2 and 3 miles and barely moving. Bail out at Rangeline. Take Highway 90 as your alternate route. With time saver traffic, I'm Ray Romero.
This report is brought to you by McDonald's.
McDonald's $5 daily deal. Enjoy a different extra value meal every day of the week for $5 each. Get hooked on quality and value with Filet-O-Fish Friday, Big Mac Monday, and more at McDonald's. For a limited time, price and participation may vary.
Now, Gulf Coast weather from Local 15.
Good morning and TGIF. I'm meteorologist Jake Dunn. We've got mostly cloudy skies in the forecast today with a 50% chance of storms and a high of 90. Should be a quiet Friday night. We fall down to 74 And then expect highs in the upper 80s to near 90 this weekend with more showers and storms, especially on Sunday. I'm meteorologist Jake Dunn for this iHeart radio station.
This report is brought to you by Dove Men Plus Care. Did you hear that 91% of guys that use Dove Men Plus Care antiperspirant recommend it? Dove Men Plus Care user Rob said that it's like the Hoover Dam, but for his armpits. Well, if it can hold back that much sweat, Rob, it must be good. Pick up some new Dove Men Plus Care antiperspirant for yourself at your local retailer.
We love Nick Saban. Just wanted to get that out of the way. This is the Uncle Henry Show on News Radio 710 WNTM.
Uncle Henry Show, thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show. Coming up in about 10 minutes, I'm going to share with you the story that Andrea Ramey did on Local 15 about crime in Mobile as an issue in the mayor's race. We'll get into that in about 10 minutes. Right now, Ariel, I'd like Ariel to, if you could join me here, I want to talk to you about this strategy of Kid Rock's strategy for selling his music, because the more I think about it, the more brilliant it sounds.
Exactly.
Now, you've told me before about how Chance the Rapper has become, he also had a brilliant strategy where he didn't charge for his music at all, right? He just gave his music away, won numerous awards, and is making enormous amounts of money as a performer.
He's even nominated for an Emmy this time around.
Okay, for something he did. So nowadays, it's just everybody's got to figure out a way to sell their music somehow, some way.
Right.
And Kid Rock has announced that he's running for the Senate. And he's he said, just like politicians release books when they're running for office, he's going to release new music. And I finally remembered, I've been thinking about it all morning, Ariel, that there was a controversy years ago. I can't remember the politician, but they came out with a book. Wasn't very good, but it became a bestseller.
Because they were a politician.
And the reason is that they could use their own campaign money to buy the book.
Oh, really?
You donate to the I donate to your campaign because I want to beat whoever your opponent is.
Right.
Then you can use the money to buy your own book, and it goes up the charts, spurring more sales. Or you don't do it. Even people that just want to support your campaign decide they're going to buy the book and maybe give it out to somebody else. So you have a lot of people buying a book that no one ever reads it.
It ends up becoming a doorstopper or a paperweight.
Yeah, it's being bought for some other purpose other than to actually read it. And this could be the same. Kid Rock could have a hit album that nobody ends up listening to.
Because think about it. When is the last time you actually heard somebody go, hey, man, did you hear that new Kid Rock CD? It was maybe around the early 2000s, late 90s.
Yeah, he did that one song that was a sampling of Sweet Home Alabama.
See?
It was played on Mix 99.9 years ago. But this is an opportunity. He's going to sell, whether or not he wins, and I kind of believe he's sincere about wanting to win. But even if he doesn't win the race, he's going to sell a lot of his music because he's gotten into the race.
And now people are paying attention to him.
This is really, this was a smart move as far as wanting to sell music.
Yes, it was. It was an extremely smart move to sell music. I don't know where he is on the actual being a politician scale, so I'm not going to say that that's a smart move. But if you're doing this for publicity, you, sir, are the real MVP.
He did a great job. All right, thank you, Ariel. Yeah, this people are going to buy his music and never listen to it. Just like these politicians, people will buy these politicians' books. They might read a chapter and then never finish it. It'll be this. The first song on that CD better be very good, because that'll be the only one that people listen to. All right, coming up after the traffic and weather, we'll have the story from Andrea Ramey.
while they were watching.
Obama spying on Americans.
You were listening. Keep on listening.
It's so sick.
Sean Hannity, 2 till 5. News Radio 710, WNTM.
Smart Home America can teach you how to save money by fortifying your home, improving your energy efficiency, and by buying just the right homeowner's insurance coverage. Learn at smarthomeamerica.org. If you want a good night's sleep, you need a great mattress, and you'll find better mattresses at lower prices at Sleep Center in Mobile and on the Eastern Shore. Listen to these Independence Day money-saving deals. Sealy has their Any Size event. Buy a mattress set, and you get any size at one low price. For example, the Sealy Plush. You can get that in any size, twin, full, queen, etc., at $199 each piece. And that's not all. You can save 10% on select Stearns & Foster mattresses with a free box spring and save up to $500 on tip.
Hello to Facebook. I just want to let you, the Facebook viewer, I want to say good morning to you. Coming up, we're going to have the story from Andrea Ramey of Local 15 about the mayor's race in Mobile and the perception of crime, how to prevent crime or deal with crime. I just got a message from Mary Booth of Mix 99.9 saying that Mix 99.9 proudly continues to play Kid Rock to this very day. So the song about where he samples Sweet Home Alabama, they continue to play it every day on Mix 99.9. And I'm sure they also play the song he did with Sheryl Crow. He did some song like a country music song with Sheryl Crow. So Kid Rock still... It's hard for me to think of Kid Rock fitting on Mix, but I guess he does. I guess if you want to fit on an Alabama radio station, you should sample Lynyrd Skynyrd. All right, let's see what else. What else can I share with you this morning on the program? I did see, I saw a good news story about the FDA approving some new cancer treatment where you're somehow or another they figured out a way to make our immune system more powerful in dealing with cancer cells. So good. Love hearing that. Love hearing stories like that. Not as much attention paid to the good stuff lately in the news. All right, stand by. We're about to go back to the radio show. Before we go to the radio show, I want to hear again about the traffic mishap on I-10 eastbound between Rangeline and I-65.
At sandyfrost.com. That's sandyfrost.com.
Are you struggling with your mortgage payments? Call 888-995-HOPE to talk one-on-one with a housing expert about your options. Or visit makinghomeaffordable.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Treasury, HUD, and the Ad Council.
Well, we are seeing slight improvement in what has clearly been our big problem of the morning. Eastbound I-10 between Rangeline and the I-65 interchange accident, which had left only the right shoulder passable for much of the morning. They have now reopened, it appears, the two right lanes, so you are able to move on the right side of the roadway. 2 lanes on the left, though, still blocked as authorities try to get this clear. Delay is a solid 3 miles. Bail out at Highway 90. Use that as your alternate route. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Ray Romero.
This report is brought to you by Always Money. Always Money is the best place to get a title loan. Get up to $10,000 with the clear title to your car. More money in your pocket and low rates. Visit alwaysmoney.com for the store nearest you. That's alwaysmoney.com. Subject to approval.
Gulf Coast weather from Local 15 and the Kemco Metal Buildings Weather Center.
Hello and happy Friday. I'm meteorologist Jake Dunn with Local 15. We've got, you guessed it, more showers and storms in the forecast today. We'll call it a 50% chance of getting wet, mainly along the coast during the first half of the day. Then those storms will venture inland as we move into the afternoon. All of that said, expect mostly cloudy skies and a high of 90. I'm meteorologist Jake Dunn for this iHeart radio station.
This morning at 9, Ask the Expert. Then Rush at 11. Right now, it's Uncle Henry on News Radio 710 WNTM.
Uncle Henry Show. Thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show. In the midst of a mayor's race in Mobile, with the current mayor, Sandy Simpson, and the former mayor, Sam Jones, I believe there's another candidate that I'll try to remember his name at a future date. Now, the issue of crime has popped up, and whether or not crime is up or down, this is a familiar thing to hear in the city of Mobile. And when I say familiar, I'm talking about, is crime really up, or is it just a perception of crime? This is something we heard about years ago. I can remember Sam Jones telling us that crime was not up. We just perceived there was crime. There was a perception of crime when there wasn't really crime. So now here we are in 2017, a mayor's race, and crime has become an issue, and policing in the community. I'm going to share with you a story that Andrea Ramey did on Local 15 about the positions of the two mayoral candidates on the topic of crime and policing.
Mobile Mayor Sandy Simpson talked about crime trends here in the city. Local 15's Andrea Ramey joins us now. Andrea, the overall crime trend seems to be downward.
That's right, Kim. That's not the perception many have, but according to this chart showing major crimes like murder and robbery, over time, crime has continued to go down.
The crime situation and violent crime is a real issue in Mobile.
Crime is a focal point in this year's mayoral race. Former Mayor Sam Jones, who's running for re-election, in Facebook posts says the city could be doing more.
We've got to have some prevention strategies.
With that conversation going on, I thought it was important to clear the record.
Today, current Mayor Sandy Simpson, who is seeking a second term, addressed the city's crime-fighting strategies, pointing out successful prevention programs and the department's shift to hotspot policing.
Our enforcement will have laser-like focus on criminals, not on communities.
Traditional policing tended to target the community in which that hotspot was occurring. In other words, and when we say targeting a community, it was saturation patrol and output-driven, number of arrests made. Intelligence-led initiatives are totally different.
Comparing the crime rates between the different administrations isn't as simple as it sounds. How crimes like rape and aggravated assault are reported have both changed. And in 2013, the year Simpson took office, it was determined the first precinct had been downgrading crimes and falsifying reports to make the stats look better. Overall, some of the lowest years for crime have occurred in the last 3 years.
We are not here to claim victory because a graph is trending in the right direction. When it's zero, we'll claim victory.
The homicide rate did jump last year with an unprecedented number of teen gun deaths. The homicide rate is on pace to be just as high this year with 22 homicides in the city already. 2 of those victims were teens.
Okay, that was Andrea Ramey, Local 15. As I said before I went into the story there, kind of a familiar conversation in Mobile through the years of how to interpret what data we get, and does it match up to what we believe we are experiencing in our community. Always a worthwhile debate to have in any mayor's race is crime, policing, how to handle it. So I'm sure much more to come on that topic as we head into the month of August and voting in Mobile. Almost out of time here on the program. Before we run out of time, I did note that the Emmy Awards, the nominations were announced yesterday for the Emmy Awards. What TV shows were offered praise by the Emmy Awards? The media elite in the country deciding what they want to praise with nominations for Emmy Awards. The 2 shows that got the most nominations were Saturday Night Live and Westworld on HBO. One of the shows, Saturday Night Live, is having a resurgence in ratings and in interest in the public because of its hammering of Donald Trump and his administration, with the president being made fun of, Jeff Sessions being made fun of, Sean Spicer being made fun of. So the media elite are rewarding Saturday Night Live for the merciless hammering of the president and his administration. So that's one way to get Emmy nominations. The other show, Westworld, which my company forced me to watch and review for this show, Westworld was the TV show that had more naked people on it than any other TV show probably in the history of television. Westworld is about a futuristic theme park filled with robots who look just like people, and a lot of the robots are naked, and you would have in that show that sometimes there'd be like an entire warehouse full of naked people. So that was considered worth nominating for. That deserves an award, doesn't it? This show has more naked people than any other show in history of. We need to give it some awards. So all these nominations for Westworld. Now, Anthony Hopkins, Hannibal Lecter, he was also given a nomination for Best Actor in a Drama. He was on Westworld. He was always fully clothed. It was a lot of weird sequences where he's fully clothed talking to naked people. And that's in our modern culture, that's considered praiseworthy. Maybe my show would still be on the CW55 if I had been naked on my show, or at least invited naked people into the show. All right, we're out of time for the week. Looking forward to the weekend. If you keep it on 99.5 The Jag, you're going to hear sports, including at 11 o'clock this morning, Colin Cowherd, the most provocative national host out there. If you stick with News Radio 710 WNTM, we have news from Fox next, followed by Ask the Expert. Today, heads, heating, and air conditioning.
Hi, I'm Jay Farner, CEO